Okay, welcome to the third and final exam video. That was funny. Um, this is going to cover the 5 free response questions, and I don't think you'll find these as challenging, but they will take a little bit of time. So, like I said at the end of that other one, you don't want to take a lot of time. You want to answer and move on so that you can get all these done. You're going to use tabular data to construct a histogram. So just a couple of highlights here. And this video will be pretty short, but a couple of highlights for doing your histogram. All right, you're given the class width, which is nice. You don't have to calculate that. Remember that your bars should touch. And remember to label well. Otherwise, you guys are pros at making histograms. Then you have to comment on the distribution. So I said, remember your socks. You want to comment on the spread, any outliers. You want to comment on the center. And I said spread before, so let's do shape. Probably I do shape before I do spread, but anyway, S and S, it works either way. So that's where the socks comes from. Remember your socks. All right, you get to construct a stem and leaf plot and then describe that distribution. So remember, stem and leaf plots, you're going to have stems over here, and you're going to have leaves over here, which you don't have to label them that, but I was doing that to help you remember. And then you'll have the stems, and then you'll have some leaves. You probably won't have a V in there. All right, and then making up some numbers. Oh, let's make it ordered, so I don't want to put that in there. All right, and all right, and so then again, you'll comment on that. And so I don't know what you'd say about that. It's symmetric. It's just not the typical symmetric we're looking at. But you probably won't have anything crazy like that. Maybe you'd say it's bimodal or something like that. I don't know. Same idea for your socks. Find a 5-number summary and the IQR. Construct a box and whisker plot and comment on the distribution. So you can see we're getting a lot of questions from that chapter because it's the fun stuff to do, and I know you enjoy it. You'll do stats. Oh, let's see, where's that thing? Calculate, and 1 bar stats, and that'll give you the 5-number summary. And remember, I think it defaults to L1, but I always like to tell mine just in case. Or maybe you don't like L1 and you wanted to use another list. Maybe you want to use L6. You can do that. Just make sure you tell the calculator that's what you're doing. Design a study given the type and you carry it out. So this one's more fun. This is from chapter 4. And so this, of the questions that you do in the free response section, is probably the most involved. You're given a scenario in which you will have to design the study and you're told the type. And so you might have to use a random number table and then say, I'm going to assign these people these numbers and those people those numbers and carry it out. Or it might tell you that you're doing a cluster sample, and so you're going to say, okay, then I'm going to divide it into these clusters, then I'm randomly going to select this cluster and go from there. All right, and then you'll answer a couple of questions about that. These are short answer. They're probably not quite as detailed as the ones that we've been doing. But this one you'll want to make sure that you explain very well how to carry out this, including any randomization that you might have. And then, for whatever reason, when I was doing this, I remembered, oh yeah, back in the multiple choice section, I forgot that I added questions that involved z-scores. So remember how to find the z-score and make sure you can calculate a z-score and then talk about what it means. Remember that z-scores were a way to normalize data so that you could compare one thing to another thing. So you can compare apples to apples instead of apples to oranges, because everyone knows oranges would win anyway. But if something has a z-score 1.5 and something has a z-score of 0.3, and we're trying to figure out who did better on the test, then since I want a higher z-score than the 1.5 guy did. If we were talking about, oh gosh, I don't know, cholesterol levels, bad cholesterol levels, then the 0.3 would be more healthy. So just be prepared to interpret in context what the z-score is. But this goes back to the multiple choice section. I just happened to remember it when I was preparing this one. So hopefully you watched part 2. It was probably my favorite video of the day. So go back and watch it if you didn't. Watch it again even if you have. All right, so those are the free response type questions that you have. They're not too bad. They're not as involved as some of the ones that we've done this year. So let's see. Good luck. Get some sleep. Bring your calculator. I told you on the other video I don't have a calculator I can borrow. I would have to dig through all these yellow boxes, and who knows, these yellow boxes might be gone when I get here tomorrow. So don't dilly-dally on questions. You've got 50 questions to answer in 90 minutes. Some involve multiple steps, so the true and false, if you know it, put the answer down and move on. Same thing with multiple choice. And that's it. So I guess that's the last video for the semester. Good luck, and I'll be here early trying to grade your projects and drop your lowest quiz grades. So you'll have an idea tomorrow afternoon what your grade is before I grade that. It's going to be a very exciting couple days. All right, that's it.